Okay. Ronald Toye. He's talking about, here he is. This is the same shit. Deplatforming, right? The same shit. My son's was and have photos of it. Ron Toye is mad that the world knows his son's name is Ron Toye. I think, interestingly, there's one other person who's mad about Ron Toye's son being named Ron Toye. I'll let you guess who it is. And while some of the information is available online, the process of compiling it like that is meant to intimidate. He's complaining about the Doxamol. Well, it's Doxamon. It's Doxamon is the thread name, I believe, on Kiwi Farms, where people doxed a bunch of people involved in the Weeb Wars. I don't remember, but it's not just KickVic people who've been doxed, believe it or not. Other people have been doxed in that thread as well who are not KickVic. I'm trying to think of who. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. It is meant to intimidate. It's actually not usually meant to intimidate. If you pay attention to how people on Kiwi Farms talk about doxing, it's rarely about intimidation. Usually, if you're trying to intimidate someone, what you do is you would like compile the personal information maybe, and then send it to them, or start sending it intentionally to other people and CCing the person. Like you would let them know that there was a threat going on. If you're trying to intimidate someone, you usually don't just post it to the sped corner of the internet and then leave it alone. That's not how intimidation is usually done. Although Ron Toye, being one of the least intimidating people I've ever seen, may just not know how to intimidate. So maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Okay. There is no justification for it. That kid didn't realize the mess he was in trying to help Nick. He drove from Houston. Oh, okay. So here's the context. Now, I remember now. This is Joseph TX he's talking about. Joseph TX was a guy on Kiwi Farms. He is the guy who got the documents, the divorce documents of Ron Toye. And Joseph TX, you don't realize the mess you're in trying to help me. Just so you know, I believe the biggest fallout of Joseph TX getting those documents and whatever stemmed from that was he was eventually banned from Kiwi Farms for some posts he made about talking to Ron and other KickVic people in person or whatever. I think that was the extent of the mess he's in, because I'll tell you what hasn't happened to him. As far as I know, he's not in any legal trouble and he's not liable for any criminal activity. So I don't know what mess he's talking about. Really don't. But I think Ron has a distorted view of the world. That much should be clear. Also, I don't believe he actually drove from Houston to get those documents, Ron. But Ron, that I'll let you figure out when you masturbate to this transcript later on. I'll let you figure out where he drove from, if you can. But I'll just tell you, pretty sure your facts are wrong on that one too. Because you don't have a grasp on the situation you think you do. And that's going to come up again and again and again. Oh, Vic was doxxed. Yeah, Vic was doxxed in that thread too. That's right. Okay. So then he has another post here. Yeah, Kiwi Farms has a Dox 'em all page where they detail where everyone lives, including photos of their homes, family info, etc. That's why it is disgusting for him to be so silent on that. So silent on what? Again, it is public record. It is. I don't know. And I'm not sure actually who he's talking about being silent on. Maybe Vic. I don't have the context of this tweet, unfortunately. I tried to go back and find it, but Ron Toye tweets more than a 12-year-old girl. In fact, Ron Toye may identify as a 12-year-old girl. I don't know. He said, I hope someone reports that page to the police. Hello, police? Yes? Do you have an emergency? I do. There's a website called Kiwi Farms, and they're posting people's addresses. Wait, like the phone book? Well, I mean, not really, though. You mean like whitepages.com? No, I didn't say that. You mean like Spokio? No, not that one. You have to pay for Spokio. You mean like Pipple? No, not Pipple either. It's different because it's just there and you don't have to pay anything for it. What the cops are gonna do? What, they're gonna raid the Kiwi Farm servers? What are they gonna do? What's the plan? What's the end goal here? You should always ask this when you're talking about the police, right? Because I am a firm believer that you should almost never call the police. Really rare circumstances. Now, they do exist, right? If something happens to you specifically that's a crime, you should call the police. If something is happening to someone, a child is in danger, you should call the police. I've done that. I've called the police when children were in danger. I was also a mandated reporter before I became a lawyer. It's kind of hard to be a mandated reporter when you are a lawyer. I know some states say that lawyers are mandated reporters, but sometimes that conflicts with all sorts of stuff. But before I was a lawyer, I was a mandated reporter, so I would report those things to the police when I saw them. But that was very rare too. We're talking, I believed a child was in imminent danger. Other than those very rare instances, don't call the police because someone else has a very rare instance, which is important, and your shit isn't. Especially when it's doxing on the Kiwi farms. Okay, I agree. It is sad they were so callous about how that would impact the people who spoke up. If they're callous, they're not trying to intimidate. Those two things are mutually exclusive. Callous disregard is what he's referring to. Like if it's, they just don't care about how it'll impact people, then it can't be intimidating. That's the opposite of intimidating. Ty was intent on having names, and then he admitted to sending the videos of the depositions to Nick, and that's how additional names of people who didn't speak up in public got doxed. Oh, is it? Is it? Is that how it happened? That's not how it happened. But that's okay. That's okay. Also, a lot of those people sent in affidavits. And those affidavits were public record as well. So anyone that wasn't, mentioned in the depositions was going to come out in the affidavits. But all the deposition footage was redacted. All of it. And just so we're clear, I received it redacted. You know why? Because I'm not Vic's lawyer. So if there was some sort of agreement to keep names confidential, I couldn't have them either. Let me point that out, Ron. I received them redacted. I didn't do the redactions. I didn't know what names were on there. So you can't, you can try and blame me all you want. Go ahead. Here's the problem you've got, though. Your agreement was never violated in any way. Whatever extent of the agreement there wasn't violated because his names were not released. And maybe if you idiots didn't spurg out about it, no one would have been able to confirm any of the names in there. You fucking moron. All right. Pink Risen Bull says, I thought he censored the names as things like Miss Orange or Purple. I didn't. I don't know how to do that. Did I say reductions? I meant redactions, damn it. And then, look at this. Oh, this is one of my favorite things that Ron did. He corrected censored, but he corrected it wrong because the man is a brainlet. The man is stupid. There's no way around it. The other guy was spelling censored correctly. And he went to this. And he put the period outside of the quotes. And he started a sentence with but without a comma. This is an embarrassing opening 2 words for Ron here. But Nick passed the video to a few additional YouTubers so they could watch it together. No, I didn't. Someone reminded me. Someone actually corrected me on this, and I'll address it in just a minute. I'll address it in the natural flow of conversation. But this is a theme that Ron has been going on. That I passed around the deposition videos. The only place those videos exist in public is on YouTube. And the only place I'm aware that the majority of them exist is on my hard drive. I guess in theory, it's possible that they exist somewhere else that I'm not aware of. But there's only been distribution of one part of the Ron deposition. And that was the first part of it, which was sent to Lord Schmecky so we could watch it together. And I don't remember, but I don't know if any of those people came up in that video. I honestly don't remember that at all. But I have not sent those deposition videos to anyone else. And for all of the accusations that we on YouTube are the biggest grifters, and we all know that only I am the supreme grifter, and fuck off if you want to think that you can take my grifting title. But lesser grifters like Tug or Yellow Flash or Hero Hey, guys who were reporting on this stuff, if you think that they would have not utilized copies of those videos on their own channels, then I don't know what to tell you, because of course they would have. Of course they would have. Now, they never even asked me for them. But if I had distributed them around, they would of course use them. And they should have. There'd be nothing wrong with that. But no, Ron, there's a reason they're only up on my channel. Any other ones you see, like anything you've seen on YouTube that is like cuts from those depositions, are taken from my show. People have asked me over and over to like put up the actual unredacted deposition footage, and or the not unredacted but no commentary deposition footage. And I thought about doing it for a while, and then I said, nah, no, it's fine. You can deal with my annoying ass on there. And I don't believe they're even monetized, so it's not like I get money from it. I'm just a prick like that. But anyway, so no, I didn't send it to additional YouTubers. I sent one part of one video to Cody because he was on the show and we watched it in sync. By the way, that one was also redacted, the exact same, because I didn't edit the video. It was already redacted. Let's see. Their names 4 out due to Ty Beard sending the videos to Nick. Those would have never seen the light of day if it wasn't for Ty and Nick. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. We wanted everything public. We want everything to be known. We want all of it public. We're fighting to make it public. We want our truth. Our truth. Our truth, you liar. That's all you want is your truth. Sunlight is the disinfectant. You wanted it out there because you didn't want people to know the Yost twins lived at your house, you creep. You abusive pile of trash. You monster. You wanted it out there because you didn't want people to start wondering why Sarah Breckmeyer never said anything. Still hasn't. That's why you didn't want their names out there. You didn't want people to start researching the associations and connections because you'd see that Faisal Ahmad is a known liar, for example. You'd see that Kara Edwards lied about her shit because people could just go to Facebook and find the lie. Over and over again, everything has been shown to be a lie. And that's what you didn't want. You wanted a narrative. You didn't want a truth. So, okay. So I said, despite my desire to avoid the deranged ramblings of, and this is supposed to be getting used to my new phone's keyboard. Woman abusing pile of shit. I'll address this publicly. I've never distributed the deposition videos other than on my show. Ronald Toye 3 is a liar and an abuser who is also seemingly insane. Ron, stop beating women. Now, this is before I remembered that I had to send the one video to Lord Schmecky. So I will offer that as a correction publicly, that the one part of Ron's deposition video was sent to Lord Schmecky. And I would send it again to do the same show. But other than that, nothing. Nothing. Because he was the only guest I had on for any of the deposition clips, and it was only for half of Ron's. All right. So then Ron got all salty here. Videos were redacted in public record. They're not actually, I'll do some correction here. They're not actually public record. They're just not privileged or protected in any way. So deposition videos are not automatically a part of the public record. The transcripts are now part of the public record. The transcripts are now part of the public record. The videos are not. The videos have not been introduced as evidence into the matter. Only the transcripts have. There may be clips of the video introduced as evidence at some point. We'll have to wait and see if that ever happens. But they're not part of the public record. But they're also not privileged, which means they are fully able to be disclosed. You can find deposition videos on YouTube. There's no protection for them other than what your attorneys are willing to protect. Unfortunately, there are people who lip read, but the effort was made. The effort was made. It was great. Good effort. He wouldn't be pissed if they made him look as good as they claim. That's the stinging truth. And then they call me Ralph says, Small Boy also leaves out that his defense team refused the motion to ensure names and information weren't in the public record. Yes, he did. They had the opportunity. They had the opportunity to have an actual agreement for confidentiality regarding everyone who gave, regarding everyone's affidavits. They chose not to do it. Let me repeat that for the Rons in the back who are standing behind tall people. They had the opportunity to have all of the names of all affiants redacted, and I believe to have their affidavits kept private. And Ron and his team said no. They wanted them to be public. In fact, his lawyers fought in court for them to be public. Whoops. Whoops. If you didn't want them public, maybe your lawyers shouldn't have been standing in front of a judge saying you demanded them to be public. That isn't how it worked. We got an agreement on those names since everyone who spoke out publicly was harassed. Not true. Because Ty leaked the video and then Nick sent it to the YouTubers, they got out and were harassed. That will be addressed. Listen, they got addressed, or they got out because I aired them on the show. That's where they got out. Ron, they got out because someone lip read the names and people put together clues and came up with it. That's all. Had nothing to do with other YouTubers. There was no distribution of videos necessary. It was distributed to the internet. And again, I would distribute it twice as hard if I could. If I could show the world just what a sniveling little shit you are, I would do it in a heartbeat. And oh my God, you are so lucky that Ty didn't know about you abusing women beforehand, because I bet that deposition would have been 10 times funnier than it already was. And if there's another deposition, if there's another one out there that comes up where you have to answer for the fact that you beat women and threatened to murder children and dogs, you disgusting little shit, I will air it twice. I will do 2 separate shows watching the same part of that deposition where you have to explain how beating women is fine. You disgusting, woman-abusing pile of garbage. You're one of the worst people I've ever encountered. And dear God, I hope that opportunity arises. Oh, and by the way, if it'll be addressed, guess what fucking opportunity is gonna arise? Guess what opportunity arises in that arc? All right. So I responded, address it all you want, manlet. I can't wait to see your fact theory put down on paper. I stand by that video clip, especially for you, wife beater. I guess it merits whatever happens. Or whatever happened. We should see what Ron is so focused on here. All right. So we're gonna do the volume on this one. And I'll share that volume with you. One moment. All right. I don't know specifically what clip this is, but I stood by it a second ago. So let's stand by it again. I just don't like any of the defendants, and I think they're terrible people. And I want to see them ground into dust. Because when you lie to take away a man's livelihood, you deserve to be ground into dust. You are scum and you know it. I find nothing but truth in that video clip. I can't disagree with me. I can't disagree with me at all. Whoever that guy is in the video, he's great. Guy knows exactly what he's talking about.